So, a very good evening to everyone, to our viewers and our prestigious law students. I am Riddhi Jandal, COO at LawInternships, the online law school. Welcome to the second episode of Achievers Chronicle. Today, we have with us Advocate Hitesh Soni, sir. He is the founder and managing partner at Hitesh C. Soni and Associates. So, without delaying any further, let's begin the interview for today. So, how would you like to introduce to our viewers?
Uh, Hello, everyone, and to all the viewers. I hope that this interview would be very candid, and I would share heartily conversations with Riddhi, to give insight to especially to all the students and to all the young lawyers that would help them to be consistent enough to be successful, and it would give uh, and it would be helpful for them. So I'm Hitesh Soni, like Riddhi said. I practice in High Court of Bombay. I was born in Mount Abu on April 4, 1991, and thereafter I pursued my law and I was shifted to Bombay. I'm a first generation lawyer. I established this law firm in the year 2017. So that's all, and a few more interesting things would be revealing on the basis of questions, and so we proceed further.
Indeed, sir. So, as we know that we always dream of getting into a very prestigious career at our childhood. So, how did you incline towards the legal profession when you were in eighth standard?
Well, this is very interesting because my father, who was not a lawyer, like I said, I am first generation lawyer. So he was in the habit of reading constitution book, which is the dual constitution, dual language used to happen. So since we were in Mount Abu, and he used to go to Ahmedabad for his he was businessman too for business trips. So he was very fond of movies. Wherever the courtroom appears, he used to be sitting candidly and watching and see these lawyers are doing that. He had no clue that what they were talking, what law was referring, but I was seeing him that his interest was so much into it, and through that moment of time, that I developed knowing about this profession, that there's a profession. Papa used to say that lawyers are someone who represent in the court of law, and so and so. So I used to see why there was a books on law. I didn't knew what was the constitution, what is the book about, because on in eighth standard you would not know. But gradually, when I was on in ninth standard, 10th standard, things would fall in place, and you would know about the what you wanted to do for future, and so and so. So by 10th, I decided my mind that I would be becoming a lawyer, and thereafter I not from 12th, but I started preparing for law schools from 11th step, 11th itself. So I was reading law books, like for example LLB, LexisNexis, and all that guides book. So that I can get an idea about what is the law, what is the basic, what is the preparation level, and all that. So I was just reading candidly, was reading the newspapers and all that, because you generally don't get prepared and ready in after 12th. You need a more period of time. So I've seen students who drop for a year or 2 years. Some people I know who have dropped for 2 years for only to get into law schools. But you are determined enough to know that you wanted to do law. Why not to start from earlier and
Earlier
prepare
stage.
for that, and after your 12th you have to go. So that was the my I was inclined on its in its standard self to do law.
That's a very basic preparation, sir, and that's a very good strategy, I would like to say. And I'm sure it will definitely help the law school students who are in currently their 10th, or maybe they're moving up to 11th humanities. They
Yes,
would choose law as a profession.
yes,
Sir, as we all know that as a law student, internships are always special for all of us. And there has been like every law student has one internship which must be extraordinary special to him or her. So we know that you have interned under late Sri Justice Rajesh Bhalia, sir, who was the former
yes.
Chief Justice of Patna High Court. So, how was your experience while interning with him? And do you also encourage internships under judges or not?
See, I tell you very frankly that, like I said, that when I was in 11th and 12th, I have decided to do law. And when I actually joined the BLLB course, honors in 5 year integrated course, and everybody was, used to give me advice that, this is not enough. You have just entered into this profession. You have to, study for 5 years, do internship, do moot courts and whatnot. And thereafter, you again have to spend 5 years in practice. So I realized that, why shouldn't I start now? Why not at an advanced period of time? I should spend those 5 years starting from now. The mere thing that I am not lawyer, I cannot appear in the court, but I can do all the things which a practical lawyer can do. So I made up my mind that I would be interning for entire 5 years, no matter what the situation is, because my dream was to become a lawyer and the practicing lawyer. So there was no dream to become a corporate lawyer or something like this.
Okay.
So I realized that it is better to, nobody should wait, that after I graduate and what I would do, nobody know. No, because in the earlier, see, if you see that why the 5 year law course was incorporated in 1989, I think through NLS, National Law School Bangalore was first to adopt that, because Bar Council realized that 3 year LLB course are not enough, because after graduations, people used to see this is a secondary profession. So they want to inculcate into the brains that if you have a dream, your passion at the stage, so that skills can be adopted at the early stage. So 5 year law course was, in that respect, that we will train a complete student to become a good lawyer, and that will be good for a legal education. So I realized that now we cannot help in respect of the surviving things post law graduation. So I thought that I would continue interning for 5 years. But again, I was first generation lawyer. I had no clue where to go, whom to approach. So I decided that I would be interning and I would be trying my luck. So I found that Honorable My Lord late Justice Rajesh Palia, and I approached him very candidly. One day, very very fine morning, I walked into his chamber and I said I want to intern. He said, "In which year you are?" So I said, I have just it's only 2 months that I have been not even one semester." So he said that, "What do you do now? How would you help me?" So I said that I would learn and I would help you, my lord. So he was very, in a way that he was very generous enough to ask me to join. But for entire 2 months I was sitting idle. There was no work. And you see the pain and pressure as a student, as a law intern. When you don't have work, that's more painful.
Yes, sir.
So I realized that I think I am being tested. I need to be patient enough, because it's me who want to learn. Correct?
Yes.
It's about me. So I realized that I have to I will sit idle. And one fine morning he gave me some matter, because he was retired chief justice. He was heading some of the judicial commission. He was also chairperson of Rajasthan National Human Rights Commission. He was arbitrator in many matter. So he used to give me some dictation, and I used to just type those letters for him and all these things. So it went for 3 to 4 months, and uh, I used to, being reprimanded through the colleges, and they used to cut my internal marks, that because I am not regular in the colleges and all that. So the question again came to my mind: what should I do? Whether I should, leave the dream to become a successful lawyer before, even graduating, to prepare at least to at that stage. So I was preparing myself, but the starting 3 months were rigorously. I was sitting idle, and no sign of that somebody either. What generally we think, like for my associate or my junior, I give them a feedback, I give them a work. That means that you are on right track. So I was not knowing whether I am on right track, whether I am wasting my lord's time, what I am doing. I have no clue. But only thing which he asked me: you want to continue, you can continue. So I continued there. I realized that there's no way that I can take a U-turn, because ultimately you will go after 6 months. You will intern for another field with another advocate or another law firm. Within 1 month, you won't learn anything. The only thing you can do is to research and chit chat and all these things, because generally it happens as a new interns, newcomers from coming from colleges and new places, new offices. We learn things. We try to students are more inclined towards networking, I have seen, rather
Yes.
than focusing on the work which they are getting. I'm very candidly sharing with you all the
Yes,
things which
sir.
my experience.
Yes.
So I realized that this should not be something like very I should not take very casual. And so I graduate. I thereafter second semester started, and I started getting more works and in respect of so and so. So I realized that for example, one of the matter which I worked with Honorable Baliasa was regarding international commercial arbitration. So I thought that what's the international commercial arbitration? I don't know even Indian in the Arbitration Act, because it was first semester, second semester.
Yes, sir.
So at that point of time, I realized that if I can be prepared, I am preparing myself for after graduation. For example, after graduation, what skills are required, I'm preparing myself for to gain that skills. Why not law books? Why should I read the law books of 4th year or 5 year only in the year which I am studying?
Yes.
So I in advance I was studying, and I was preparing for other semesters also, because there was very hard to intern and after attend colleges and go to courts. All these things were happening. So now, in a nutshell, uh, all these things happen. I interned for entire 5 years, and rather the first question which you asked me, this question, there are two part of this question.
Yes,
One,
sir.
then first is whether you should judge, you should be interning under in the beginning at the bit and any judges, or should not. So I would rather say, see, judges are someone who generally was a lawyer. So if a judge, or he or she must have practiced the law, so they know better. But after they are retired, they are very calm, and they are very patient. They will not going to teach you anything. You have to observe, you know, what type of patience and calmness they have, how they, what work they are giving to you. In fact, giving you a kind of work is also an impression that what he is seeking from you. It is sometimes, even to my juniors and associate, I give them a work which is not required, but I just test their knowledge. I don't want to
Yes.
give them any other further work, whether they are capable enough of doing or not. So people will test you at your organization where you're interning. So you have to be very patient, and especially with the judges, you will learn the calmness, patience. At the beginning, if you get an opportunity to intern with any honorable judges, it's really good, because you will learn patience, calmness, politeness, which is which is necessary for the in the profession. So I believe you should intern with judges. And can you repeat the question if I am missing something?
No, sir. Both the questions have been answered
Uh,
very finely, sir. So, taking this internship concept further, recently our Honorable CGI remarked that senior lawyers or either law firms, they should pay a little amount of stipend to the interns who are coming from the different states, or either they're working for like more than a month or 2 months or so. So, what is your take on that? Should internships be paid or unpaid?
See, I tell you, there should be first clarification. Uh, the student don't know whether he or she will be paid or not.
Yes.
If the organization is required an intern who they will won't pay, then it should be clarified. For example, many students comes to Mumbai, which is very expensive city,
True, sir.
and they need stipend to manage themselves, at least for basic transportation.
Yes,
So
sir.
it is up to me. It should I should be aware of the fact. The organization head, who or the HR or the concerned person should know that it is not possible that the person would entirely spend his time, and he's contributing towards your organization. So it is, again, I'm saying that either it should be clarified that whether it is paid or not. A student himself or herself should ask that whether he or she should be paid or not. Now, second thing, in my respectful opinion, it is always should be paid. At least if he or she is interning with a law firm, because I can understand independent counsel or independent advocate, because he or she may not be incapable of giving him any stipend. But if it's law firm, they should definitely, because law firms are generally based in bigger cities, and
Yes.
students are, they have to come and manage themselves. It's very tough. I have gone through, because I was intern for entire 5 years during my course. But I want to make one point and one thing, that it should be, see, like you said that, Honorable Chief Justice have said this is so and so. But I want to add one thing in my submission, that this legal profession is not for money, it is for services, correct? And like in this profession, nobody helps you, nobody. In fact, even if you join someone, even if you're first generation, second generation, you have to help yourself. You have to first, whenever you join this profession as a law student, you have to keep this in mind, that you don't have to rely on anyone, and you will have to manage yourself. You don't have to rely on any organization whether they paid or not, because ultimately it's up to you to go and learn. Even merely because they are not paying doesn't mean that you don't take advantage of the knowledge which you are being imparted of. So
Yes.
it is my take. Secondly, you should first understand whether, if you are good at something, you will be paid, and you should never do it for free. If an intern is good at something, he is contributing, and the organization also wants such skill, then he should, be fair enough to ask and at least make a request that he is contributing, and therefore he should be paid. So first understand what's your contribution in that organization where you're working, or whether it's an individual advocate. If you're working hard enough, and if you think that you are contributing, and so therefore it's very fair to ask for a stipend, and this is my take on that.
That's a nice suggestion, sir, actually. Even I would like to say that the students should also think about the same. Like, we have been receiving so many requests for the students, and they just come, ma'am, we want a paid internship. Even when they're in the first year and they don't have much of the experience. So I think the students should also focus on first learning and then establishing their mark to ask for the fair stipend from the
I want to
organization.
share one small experience. It would help to add something to
Yes,
this.
sir.
That when I was, learning, I was interning. Same question, I have asked myself, and I asked that I have to spend a lot of money in transportation, and to maintaining myself to be intern in in courtroom. Like for example, if you go to courts, you have to maintain in, yourself.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are interning in office, you have to maintain that decorum of so and
Exactly.
so. So you are not at home, you are at any organization, you have to interact with the client, you get chance, you have been observed, very very much observed, rather than a colleague. Your intern is more observed than anyone else. So in that respect, even I have thought one thing, that I should, if I don't want to go to paid internship, I should get some earning. you know Learning and earning cannot go together, at least in this profession, only if only the source of income is from the same profession. I
Yes.
have decided myself that I would not earn anything. I was told by some colleges or some of them, so, to outsource work, in order to get some earning. But I realized that, why should I earn anything which is outside from this profession?
Yes, sir.
I have taken that oath, you can say, that I will not have any penny which is not from this profession, and that it should be professional income. It should be directly or indirectly connected to the legal profession. Either if you are drafting for someone, you are assisting, but it should not be that you are working entirely on different aspect. Some people I know, they do job while interning, and those jobs are not related to law.
Mm.
So how you justify yourself, because you are dependent on some other income. So what impact it will create is that when you will graduate, you will realize that it's easy to make money outside this profession. And that point of time, you will think that this profession is not for me. You will join some banks and any other organization.
True.
So it should be through your talent. It should be through your so and so hard working. And if you are not being paid, despite you think that it's a contributing, your contribution, then you should at least give a change, that there's something need to be done in respect of whether where you are interning, or you need to change the place. So this is my take on.
Yes, sir. Sir, as we know that establishing your own practice is not an easy journey to be for every founder or managing partner, whether it's a CEO of the company. So, what challenges did you face while you were shifting your practice from Jodhpur to Bombay?
See, I tell you, like when I completed my graduation, the hardest and the lengthest, the time which I waited for was that I was, there was bar council committee, and the bar council committee, once you made an application for enrollment, they used to, sit together and thereafter approve the name, and you get a bar council enrollment number. So I spent my 5 years. It went like anything. Like, I used to go to courts and so on. But those months, that I'm graduated, I want to appear in court
True.
and argue the case, but I'm not enrolled. Why the hell the council is not approving my name? So I got patience-less, in respect of so and so. So that was my eagerness to practice and argue
Practice and
in the
appear
court of
before.
law. So day after my enrollment, the second day, what I did, file a case and argue the matter. I already had that this networking in respect of so somebody was very senior. He said that this is the petition. That was an election matter, and the CPC matter was there. So you have to file a writ petition. I immediately filed a petition before the High Court. I argued the matter. Only 10 minutes, were there at the end of the day when judges to rise. So he said that I am dismissing this petition. So I said, either you keep the matter tomorrow, because I want to argue. This is my first case. So bole, you argue. I argued the matter. It went for more 30 minutes. And he said that I am dismissing. Then dismiss on merit. Even it is dismissing, I want to be, that matter would not make any impact on the case which against which the impugn order which I have challenged. But I wanted that, I don't want, judge was saying that you withdraw this petition. I don't want to name the judge, but he was saying, so challenges will come that you will be forced to do what you don't want to. So I said that I don't want to withdraw even if you're dismissing. So that was my take. You have to take risk in respect of anything you wanted to do. I wanted to argue. I argued the case. The matter got dismissed. Thereafter, it went to Supreme Court, and it did not went to Supreme Court. But before the trial court, the district court only, it got resolved. But that too, it's a different part of story. So what I am trying to tell you is, you have to take a risk first. You don't have to see what other people see. I have realized that when I was in courtroom at the dais, people were observing me, that he is just enrolled and he's arguing fearlessly and so and so. It's sometimes we feel that people are mocking at you. They are making fun of you. You don't have to care about anyone. You just have to take risk. And if you feel that you are doing right thing, just go for it. So I realized that in Jodhpur, since my dream was to practice in Bombay, and I realized that since I was from Mount Abu, Jodhpur was also a different city for me. So I not if it is Jodhpur, why not Bombay? So I decided to shift Bombay, and within 6 months of my practice, at that point of time, I was having 25 cases within 6 months of my individual names. So I decided to done away with the matter and take a that step to leave the practice. I don't know anyone. I didn't knew anyone in Bombay. There's no godfather in this profession for me in Bombay itself, and I'm a first generation lawyer. And you have limited savings. and you have to shift your practice to some other place, and you don't know anyone in this profession. So that was really tough decision. I still, it's very, I get emotional sometimes, to because those were the time where I have to take a decision. So if you want to reach somewhere, you have to get out of somewhere. You can't stick at one place and then dream for the place. You have to sacrifice those perks and those things which you are, enjoying right now. For example, I was having clients, I was having, my name was there, people knew me. So I thought that whether should I shift completely to an entirely different place within different sphere of people, it's complete what's challenging. But I thought that I would definitely give a try. I locked my PG. I just got few clothes with me. I came to Bombay, and I thereafter never returned. Uh, so challenges were there that I used to at first since I got an opportunity from like any other student, you would dream to join a law firm. As a fresh graduate, I was having no, I will Bombay, Bombay firm culture is there.
Yes, sir.
So I thought, why not to join a law firm? So मैंने ना at least 100 to 200 and application I used to send to everyone. So like any other, just to because I was having that the feeling that I left a place and I am at new place. How would I survive? What would I say to other people there? They would mock me that you left the place and you went there and you could not do and you returned as a failure. I don't want to show that. I showed that I wanted to do something, and that was my dream, and I will do for but I will not return to the place. It's basically, rather than law, it's more philosophical, uh, uh, questions. So I realized that up to I need to do something. So I made applications, thousands of, like hundreds of applications to all the firms and so and so. Now all the partners are my colleague. We meet in code and we laugh on the topic whenever it appears. So I said that one of the law firm I want to mention, which I got an opportunity. That was a tier 1 law firm.
Yes, sir.
I got package and they said that because you have that experience, you have confidence and all that, so and so we will give you the package and so and so. But they said that you have to enter into an agreement that you won't take independent cases. Now, think from my perspective. A person who enrolled who enrolled and next day he argued the case. He took the risk. He left the place. Entirely came to a stranger city like a Bombay. It's a Maya Nagri, and I truly say it's really a Maya Nagri because it's happened with me. So I realized that the money, the salary, the retainership, whatever we say, it will really help me to survive and stay there in Bombay. But the question was that, should I leave my independence? Should I sacrifice those cardinal things which the Advocate Act says? The Advocates Act says that you are any person who holds an LLB can be enrolled with bar council. An advocate can practice anywhere in the country. So those words were very powerful for me. That I am an advocate, I can take any cases, I can practice anywhere. Nobody can prevent me, restrict me in that sense. That's like killing your own, dream merely for money, because I'm from business family. I don't want it to, I did not choose this profession for money. So I thought I could have easily go to the firms and, like other people generally today do. They join law firms for some years and thereafter they manage themselves financially and thereafter they take a stop. I said that if not now, it is never. Because once you stuck somewhere, you stuck forever. You cannot go. Like I said, if you want to go somewhere, you have to leave some place. But there are circumstances will not let you go. My family didn't knew that I shifted completely to Bombay. After a few months, they used to ask, why you are there? I said, I have shifted my practice to Bombay. Why I'm saying this? Because even your family won't support you. They will tell you that if this is the high court. I was living in Rajasthan. I am from Rajasthan, and my higher court is High Court of Jodhpur Principal Court. Why would a person go to a different state and practice there? They were very genuine in respect of their opinion, and true. But my point was that it was my dream. So I don't want someone to impose some of their views on me. So I don't thought that let there be a white lie that I am here for something intern or some looking for opportunity. But my only worry was I don't want someone to pressurize me and ask me why I'm doing that, because this is generally happen. People have courage, they have talent, they can take risks, but they are pressurized through external, through their family person. I'm not against the decorum of the family, the how the culture, the work, how the parents. I'm not against the parents, that how whether they should guide or not. But some decision should be with the person who is into the career. They should know, they know better what they want.
Yes.
And it's a intuition basically. You cannot help anyone. It's my intuition that I will do something big. That's my intuition, and I cannot give any proof to it. Nobody can give proof. My proof is that where I am today. But at that point of time, then I didn't have anything. Neither I had reported judgment, neither I had any good case, big cases. All I had, that was the knowledge, and I need some time to prove myself. But to ask a fair question whether you should whether you should do that or not. Even your peers, your friends, your associate, your co-workers will tell you XYZ things. To all the students and all the young lawyers, my only take is that if you really want to become an independent, you should understand what the freedom is. The freedom is that you are living an unobstructed life and taking a decision for your life. That's the freedom, and that's through that freedom, that's the true independence comes. And through that independence, you can become a independent person, not only in practice but in your own thoughts. You know, if you are failing, then people say that you fail 10 times, then one time you will again win that game. But I'm not on that point. I'm saying that nobody should obstruct you. Nobody should, even not a single thought should be from the external person. You don't need to ask anyone. Be private person and take a call, and thereafter do things will fall in place. So I used to sit in I left a job. I left a job in the means I rejected the proposal of a tier 1 law firm
Mm.
and decided to continue sitting in the high court. I was sitting in Bombay High Court very idle. No brief, no cases, nobody know me, so I don't care. So I realized that I will do something. I don't want to have briefs, and I don't have cases. I was reading, I was sitting in idle in library, because I realized that if I'm an advocate, I don't have pressurized that I'm an associate of any law firm. I'm a fresh graduate. Nobody said me. When I was independently doing, everybody was praising, oh, who you are independent. They were praising. So that was motivating for me. But that did not give me a work. So one incident I want to share. So I, faced one client who came to me. I was having very limited funds left with me, when I was managing myself in Bombay alone. So one client came and he said that, sir, nobody is taking my case. Lawyers fee are very high, and I came from Uttar Pradesh, and my brother is in jail. So can you take this bail case? So I said that, what about the fee? He said that I don't have money, but I will get in next week. In the meantime, you prepare for so and so, and at the time of listing, we will do the needful. I thought that that's the turning point, maybe. So I took the case. I spent at least 4 to 5 thousand rupees from my pocket, stenograph, all the expenses in order to prepare the file and all that. But the client didn't turn. That's the reality. This is the situation. Like we've been taught as a person, as a lawyer, that you have to be more, a lawyer should be, human enough to at least care for, legal educations and legal aid and all that. Pro bono work should be done and all. So I thought in that respect that I will spend money, but I will help that person. But he didn't turn. And what I found is that he engaged a very influential lawyer in his case for that particular case, and he was saying that such situation will come to you like this. You don't have to, just say, it's nobody's fault. I realized that life was testing me. Life was testing. Can you stay? Can you stay despite not only the failure but the heartbreak? Your whole principle goes down when you see that somebody you were helping from your own pocket did not turn, and he is engaged separately. So I decided to done away with that, and I choose to stay. Whatever happens, I realized that life was testing me because I was strong enough to maintain myself. That what may come, I will not go back to Jodhpur. I will not join any law firm. I will do independent practice. So one fine morning, one client approached me, through some reference first, and he said that he was having 15 cases pending before High Court, then CLB, Company Law Board, and he want my help in assisting. Now, you won't believe that those matters were pending since 2012 and were handled by Asia's largest law firm, Tier 1 law firm. And now, since the case is over, but I can discuss something about it. There's no issue with that. That was my turning point, I would rather say. So he said that the corporate director of the company said that I have won your assistant in respect of so and so. The client have invested 5 to 6 crore as a legal fee.
Oh God!
And the dispute was regarding 124 crore.
Oh.
And I was, that was turning point, and I said, this was something big. And thereafter, within short period of time, thereafter, like I will complete the complete sentence. I think there would be other questions regarding so let us complete the other questions and we would finish it off.
Yes.
The other related question is there.
So taking this sentence, which you said that you got the client, and I hope this would be the wow factor, which every advocate believes that yes. So could you please elaborate more on this case?
Yes. So one fresh graduates comes to a place from nowhere, and he have few thousand rupees left, and he is in the legal profession. He is not into acting. He is not into any other business. He is into a legal profession, the legal profession which we generally condemns and praise and take pride of it. And one fine morning, one client comes and he gave him 124 crore disputes just to go through it and see what can be done. Now that client, my first case, you can say. So he said to me that to observe the work of the firm who is handling the matter, rather than why it is not being decided on merits, what's happening in the case, because 15 litigation cases were pending, 124 crore disputes, and my client was completely, was having no more funds left. So he said that I want to do something, and he was very emotionally in pain that for entire life he built something, and in a one go in disputes for 8 years. Was I think it was 2017. So I came in 2007 June 1st of June 2017 to Bombay. Why June? Because in month of June Jodhpur have vacations. So and in our Bombay High Court we have a month of May as a vacation. So the court was shutting down there for a vacation. It was reopening for a year. So in very blindly, I came when the court reopened here in Bombay in June. First, for 3 months, I was sitting idle, and in September of 2017, I met that client, and he said that he wants to do so and so thing. Uh, I of course done well and observed many things, which were not up to the mark. To my satisfaction, in my opinion, I think that there were many things which can be done for that particular client. But of course, you can't do because the other firms is managing the firm work. So you are only someone avid, observer, and can give an opinion, an idea that how you should go and so on. So gradually, in the same month, in the month of October, the client approached that law firm and he said that I want to take NOCs of all the matter. He want to take no objection certificate from the law firm. It means that he don't want to pursue further with the firm, that firm which I am talking about. So he asked me that what other firms we have, how we approach them. I, in fact, gave him 3 or 4 big tire firm in comparative to that firm. And I, in fact, went with them, the directors, and guided them that these are the firm and so and so. I don't know why. That was something very destined or no. But he sat one day and said that I'm not going to give any to any other law firm. I'm giving all these cases to you. 124 crore disputes. Every, like every authority was involved, from textile commissioner to EOW, from even PMO, Ministry of Finance. There was a big fraud, siphoning of fund. The dispute was regarding shareholder agreements and all the whatnot. So I thought that I am just a graduate. Can I handle all these things? But I asked myself, if you are not prepared for that particular thing, why didn't you why you took the risk of becoming independent? So when you become independent, you don't get consumer cases. You don't get only consumer cases or notices. That's not the beginning. You may get something big thing. Like in my case, I got something. So that was because during my internship, I read at least 2,000 files. So for me, it was very, very okay that, I can do it. I can go ahead with that. But Bombay is entirely having a different practice. So the again question which came to me to, now there was no question of winning the case. There was a question that how to protect those cases, not to lose at least, those cases, because the person have gave me a responsibility. Now, during that period of time, when I was having 15 cases, and the client have gave me that those 15 cases you will handle. Now I chose that now what to do, whether I should file my independent wakalatnama or should I start my law firm. I thought, why shouldn't I start my law firm? And that was the birth of Hitesh Sonin Associate on November 27, 2017. The firm was established, and when I established the firm, the situation was again that how to pay the rents for the office and all that, because my earning was far lesser than my office expenses. So again, same thing came, that now you have work, but now you need money, because you can't tell client that you have given me these matters, now give me funds also. That's not their job. You have to maintain yourself. Now, since you have those big matters, you cannot ask someone, because it's very confidential also, and it's very foolish thing to seek any support. So I realized that I kept faith and realized that God will help me, whatever the situation will be, and I will maintain myself. I minimize my expenses and maintain the office rents and all that, and I continued with the the firm name. Started my firm started hiring some of the few juniors, give a client a sense of satisfaction that even it is a small firm, it can have a big impact. Correct. So it was in November I took the matter, and you won't believe that within 6 months, on 24th of April 2018, I won that case. All the case was resolved. My client got almost 95 crore back.
So, you mean like all the 15 cases
All
were
cases.
all the cases
Consent,
are won?
consent terms were filed. Consent terms was filed, and it was before the Justice Shri Ram, and I was, arguing the matter, and Justice Shriram said that, either you file this consent term, otherwise we will pass an order. So client, the opposite party realized that, otherwise we will have to pay more what they are asking with interest and all that. So that was the impact, So I really felt in everywhere in the Bombay High Court. And so I give one instance. People used to, recognize me. So many senior advocates who I approached for joining them, I asked them one day, sir, do you know this is Hitesh? So they said, Hitesh, I know you. We heard about you that in this case you done. So that was the satisfaction. So that was the wow factor for me, because it is one person coming to entire different city. That is also a commercial capital of India, and starting not only independent, starting his firm, winning a 124 crore case within 6 months. So that gave me a huge, a reputation for, all other people, that you can independently not only do, you can, if you have patience and if you have, consistent, life will test you. So you just have to do what you have gained as your knowledge. You don't need money to work. You just need your knowledge to work. So for your other factor may depend on, for example, if you are writing, your pen and paper may cost you something, but what you're writing is entirely nothing to do with the money. So my knowledge helped me and not the other things. So that was my take, and that was wow factor which I wanted to share.
That's a great story. So, I mean, thank you so much for sharing this. It will be beneficial for the upcoming lawyers.
Yes.
So, sir, how will you best describe your law firm in one sentence? Please tell us about your law firm's practice and prospective clients if you wish to share.
Yes. See, Hitesh Soni and Associate is a full service law firm. I really can say that uh, any organization cannot go beyond who have established that organization. So if the founder had that vision, you know, the organization can take ahead, so and so. So Hitesh Soni and Associates, it's a full service law firm, and it is based in Mumbai. We have two offices, one in Fort, it's a litigation head, another at BKC as a corporate office. And we have a client across the globe. And in a short, because we have now around 1,000 clients, I cannot name every clients, but we have clients from individual shop owners to a client who have turnover of more than 500 crores. So it's like that all from all across the globe we have client from, many clients. I don't want to name them because of some of the confidentiality.
True. Yes, that's nice. So, sir, like, after winning so many awards on your name and firm's name, what is your success mantra behind this? I mean, what has been the motive, or we could say Josh of working so hard continuously?
See, I tell you, first I want to thank you for asking me this question, because I really believe that although it's a very good thing that you have been awarded, correct, but I ask myself, when I myself awarded, you know, uh, do I require, or do any person require an award to, for you, for me at least, I won an award when I done something, you know, I took decision and I prevailed on that decision, and I lived on those decisions, and now I'm successful. Like I mean to say, कि I'm on the verge on that. So I want to my success mantra was that award is merely a tag that you won. You should be capable enough that whether you should be given that particular award or not. So you should first fulfill all those criteria of your principle. You live by your principle, and once you live by your principle, and for of course ethical practice and all these things, you don't need any award first of all. But mantra is that people will come and will give you a word for sure if your work is worth enough to be praised. And basically why you give award, to show the other people that there can be an inspirational story, to show other people you as an example. So that's my mantra for success, that be an example for other people, so that you can be treated as an person of worth being an awarded.
Sir, as we know that the concept of moot courts have emerged a lot in law colleges. So, how far do you promote these moot courts? And also, please do share whether you were an avid mooter during your time.
See, I during my time, since I told you that I was mostly interning, but I did handy donut moot court competitions, antitrust moot courts, and many ISRO, NLSU, space law moot courts, and many other moot courts, miscellaneous moot courts around the country. So I was very, of course, avid mooter, and I wanted to be a speaker. I've always be was going ahead in respect of taking all the calls. So not only I used to argue the matter before the that forum, but I used to prepare those research by myself. So when you are a speaker one or speaker two or a researcher, you don't have to limit yourself to that. You participate completely. So I, with my team, many people who were the students, those classmates or junior, they used to only participate only to obtain a certificate. Because people do, they are doing nothing and they just want. Sometimes we, myself and one of the senior, don't have any researcher, so we picked one person, did research for them, and
Yes.
only he was on the name. So if you the moot court is good, but I want to add that moot court should be changed in respect of practical courtrooms, because we only argue the cases on merits. We prepare through moot court only for high courts and the Supreme Courts. We don't prepare for trial courts. One of the moot court which I have observed, judged as a final, was a HR college moot court. Now,
Okay.
what people do, they don't have any law course. They don't do this thing. They have that drama school, and management and or event management and all that. These graduation course are there. So they people are asking me. They have that Callisto Mystic karke. There was one yearly fest is there. So for 3 years I am going there and judging the moot court. They have their case, one case, the brief, and according to both the speaker has to come. But what interesting thing they are doing, they are bringing witness. They are cross examining, doing cross examination. They are
That
setting
this is
setting the
another.
courtroom, setting the courtroom environment. you
That's
know Not only courtroom environment, the person who came before me as a witness while I was while I was judging, that witness was, you can say, he was wearing those attire. One one witness was a Vasuli wala. So he literally wore that, the uniform, the attire, and he was on in that particular accent, that like you
yes,
can say
sir.
like Munna Bhai type.
Yes,
So
sir.
so that was a real experience for me. So I can see that, what was the impact on the matter, how it was
Uh,
holding, how they were not lawyers, but they were arguing so well. and there was witnesses, cross examination happening. Murder weapon was there, or many things were there. So if there is any dispute, if they are showing any company fraud, they are showing a company directors, they are showing company files. So we have to go beyond the high court and Supreme Court practice, and we have to teach them that you should also learn those tactics, those art of cross examination through moot court. We should design the moot court. In there should be some changes, I believe, that not only that there's a speaker, somebody argues and merit pe ho jata hai.
Yes, sir.
It's not that. Like, you should give a complete courtroom environment like those. So that was my take on that.
We also have been conducting moot court competitions, sir, and
Okay,
it's a great idea. We'll definitely see if we could inculcate something like this in our
of course.
event.
This is really practical and very interesting to
Yes, sir. Last but not the least, any three best pieces of advice that you would like to give to our viewers?
to all my viewers, whether they are interns and they will be future lawyers, and all the people, those who take me seriously, and those who are looking, that I would help, my words would inspire them. I want to very serious point. I want to tell you that you should be very patient enough to understand that what you want in your life. Patience not only in profession, patience in order to understand your own self. What's your intuition. Sometime you have to follow your heart, and your dream will follow. So you have to understand that you should have that calmness and patience in life, not only in legal profession. So that will make you capable of understanding what's your dream, and what direction you should go. And second, my take on that and my advice is that if you really want to be a successful lawyer in practicing advocate, or anything, or any dream, if you want to go ahead, stay for that. Don't leave, don't quit. That's the key. So for practicing advocates, I would tell that staying is the profession is like halfway. If you are staying in profession, your face value is being generated. You will sooner or later will get a work, but don't sit idle. It doesn't mean that you should always have. When I was sitting idle in ICOD, I always used to read files. Files in the sense books. Not sitting idle. So stay first is be patience. Be patient enough to understand your goal, and thereafter be patient in life. And secondly, be consistent enough in order to be consistent. When you are patient, you have to be consistent also. So it doesn't mean that you are patient at sitting at home and you are patient. I am patient enough and I'm calm, I will get success. You will not get success. You have to consistently go somewhere. Approach your workplace, whether it's a court, whether it's your law firm. You have to give your heart to that particular dream, and patience. And secondly, I said that consistency. And third thing is that don't take someone's advice if that advice doesn't suit you. For example, you should follow your heart, not the other people advices. So those things I want to share in a nutshell. I will share consistency, patience, and follow your heart. That's all thing I would share.
With this, we end the interview of Advocate Hitesh Soni on a greater note, which says that try and try until you succeed. So I'm just
Yes.
summarizing this on a short note. And thank you so much, sir, for being a part of our Achievers Chronicle. And I must say, I, myself, my team, and our law students have definitely taken a lot of shots from your interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.